Hey guys, this is Alana LaRue and today is Tuesday the 26th of April, which makes me 1 week pre-op for my gastric bypass Roux-en-y, which I'm having here in London on May the 3rd. Starting with my stats, I weighed in a week ago at 131.3 kilos at the start of the pre-op diet. A week later I weighed in this morning and I am 127.1 kilos, which is a 4.2 kilo loss for the first week of the pre-op diet. And if I am going to make that all in pounds, it means that I started at 289.5 pounds. This morning I weighed in at 280.2 pounds, which was a loss of 9.3 pounds for the week. Mostly because all I've been having all week is milk, and more milk, and a little stock cube thrown in for variety, or dinner as I like to call it. It's all been going fine. I mean, I was a bit hungry at the start, to be expected. Now I am not really hungry, not really full. You just sort of have that background hunger like you get. I've done shift work in the past, and when you're on shift work and you have a set break time and there's no chance to get anything to eat or drink in between the start of your shift and when you go on break, you get that hungry feeling where it's like, oh, I wish I could eat something but I can't. So I call it sort of like a resigned hunger feeling where there's nothing you can do about it, so you better just suck it up. So I definitely have that feeling, but it hasn't been nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. I did a little bit of a trial a couple of weeks before I was due to start the milk diet just to see if I could have it, because honestly it's been years since I've drunk milk just by itself, not as part of a coffee. So I figured I'd give it a try, see if I could actually stomach the milk and how hungry I'd going to get. And I made it through to about 8 o'clock at night, and then I gave in an order takeaways. So the trial didn't bode very well for the actual milk diet, but it has actually been fine, and I haven't had any cheats really. I've got one thing which I'll tell you about in a second, which is not quite on the plan, but I figure it's enough of a compromise that it'll be okay. So a typical day so far on the milk diet, which is what my pre-op diet is I sort of start the day, I get up, I get ready for work, I chow down on a chewable multivitamin and a chewable iron tablet. I get those in, wash it down with a small glass of milk, and then I'm out the door. By the time I get to work on the bus, if I'm walking, then when I'm just about at work, I order my Starbucks coffee online. So I get an iced 4-shot venti 3-pump sugar-free caramel, 2-pump sugar-free hazelnut non-fat latte, which is sort of caramelly, sort of nutty, a bit like toffee nut flavour. Lots of coffee, a little bit of milk, ice cold, easy to drink, and I'll sip on that for a couple of hours through the morning. Sort of gets me going, gets me ready for the day, and definitely helps sort of ease any hunger pains in the morning. After that, I sort of have a Berocca, which is like a tablet that you drop into water, effervesces, lots of B vitamins and the likes. I have one of those, and I also have one of these, which I don't know if it's going to focus or not, but these are called High Five Zero electrolyte and magnesium sports drink tablets. Same sort of thing, you drop it into water, they effervesce. This is a lemon lime flavour and it has 0 sugar, 0 calories, but I find that the electrolytes have certainly been helping me feel a bit more alert. So definitely recommend those, although because they are slightly carbonated, I don't think they're going to be okay after surgery. But for now, they've been great. So have that. I then have, sorry, looking at my notes down here, I have my coffee, I have a Berocca, I have my electrolytes. Usually about lunchtime, I will have a cup of chai tea with some milk in it, a little drop of sweetener, something nice, warm for a change. In between all of this, I'm having glasses of milk as and when I sort of feel like I need it. I try to jump on any suspicion of hunger quite early, because even the milk is not really going to stop it, so I'd rather have something in my belly. In the afternoon, by the time I get home from work, I usually have my last glass of milk at work about 5 o'clock. I get in about 6, and I will usually have my stock cube then. So throw the kettle on. I've been just doing the stock cube either in water, or I've been heating up a little bit of milk to mix it with. So that was particularly nice with, I've got some Kallo, so it's Kallo is the brand. They do organic stocks, so I've got an organic French onion one, a mushroom one, and a veggie one, and so I've sort of just been alternating with those, or doing half and half, so half an onion one and half of a mushroom one, which has been quite nice. Really tasty. Never thought that would be the highlight of my day, but it definitely has been. I had ordered some Better Than bouillon, which a lot of people said is great, not specifically for weight loss surgery community, but just people say it's a really good stock to use. I didn't like it. Oh, I much preferred the Kallo, I wish I knew how to say it, brand stock cubes. They're much nicer, much tastier, much more balanced flavour. Like, you could almost taste multiple notes of things in those stock cubes. But that's all been fine. And then, this is the thing where I said was a little bit of a borderline. I don't think it's really cheating. It's not on the list of what I'm supposed to have. But I know in a lot of the NHS milk diet plans they include yogurt, which is what I had. So in the evening, just when I'm just craving something, some sort of feeling in my mouth, opposed to just drinking liquid after liquid after liquid, I got some yogurt from the supermarket here. It's called Skyr. I believe that's actually a type of Icelandic yogurt, so it's really thick like Greek yogurt, but a lot creamier, almost thicker than Greek yogurt, believe it or not. It's really high protein, low sugar, so I figured it's sort of okay to have, and I just have 100 grams of it, which is 65 calories, 0.2 grams of fat, 4 grams of sugar, and 11 grams of protein for that 100 grams, which I figured's pretty high protein. It's not too bad. I think if you were going to eat a regular tub size, you'd probably be getting about 16 grams of protein in there. So I'm definitely going to keep that one in the back of my mind, because it's really nice and easy to get at the supermarkets here. In terms of how I've been feeling, I was a bit worried about getting migraines, because I do get migraines sometimes if my blood sugar drops low and if I go too long between meals, but it hasn't been too bad. I've had one migraine about day 3. It was a bit of a stonker. It came on at work, so I got the aura, so my eyesight went all blurry and pixelated and stuff. If you have migraines, you know what I'm talking about. But I just took some sumatriptan, went and lay down in one of our little meeting pods, and just let that pass for about 40 minutes, and then I seemed to come right. So quite happy with that, because that was definitely a concern going into the pre-op diet. Hunger wise, like I said, it's actually been okay, and it has helped in the sense of trying to figure out, am I hungry or am I just bored? And I eat out of boredom a lot, or because I deserve it at the end of the day. So, it's just, I'm not saying that I've solved those problems, but I'm definitely becoming more aware of them, and I think in the long run that's definitely going to help post-operatively, when I'm not hungry but there's still that urge to put something in my mouth. Other than that, what else has been happening? I had a pre-op assessment on Thursday. So they took bloods, they took a urine sample, they took swabs on my nose and groin for MRSA. So they're just testing to make sure that you don't have that, or if you do, that you can treat it in time. Haven't heard anything back, so I'm assuming no news is good news. They did that. I went down, I had an ECG, so heart rate thing where they stick all the pads on you and they take a measure of your heartbeat, I guess. She said that was absolutely fine. Heartbeat is fine. They took height, weight. They did that. They took blood pressure, which is always funny to me because I've had to have my blood pressure taken quite a few times in the last wee while, you know, both through this process and through my regular GP. I had a health check for my insurance, and literally of the last 5 times that I've had to have my blood pressure taken, every single time the machine has not been able to get my blood pressure the first time. It just won't do it. It'll just give an error message. They try again, they try different machines, and eventually they manage to get a reading. But I don't know if this has happened to anyone else, but it's really weird. And every time I think, oh, I should really say something that it's, you know, it's not their machine if they don't get a reading the first time. But then I think that's silly. You know, I've never heard of anyone not being able to get a blood pressure reading from a blood pressure cuff. I don't know. Maybe it's weird. Maybe it's bad luck. Maybe it's coincidence. I don't know. But I have really bad luck when it comes to blood pressure machines. Go figure. On Saturday, I've got to go back to the hospital and get some more bloods taken. I'm not sure what those ones are for, but they want you to get some that is within a couple of days of the surgery. So I'll head back up to Harrow again. It's a bit of a journey. It takes about an hour and 10 minutes from where I live, but you know, it's doable. It's not like it's several hours away, so I'll be heading back up there on Saturday. Other things this week, there's really only a couple more things. So on Thursday, my mum arrives. She's coming over from New Zealand to spend the summer over here. My parents go back and forwards a lot between New Zealand and the UK, depending on what's going on, but she's back for the summer, which will be nice, and so she's staying with me. So she'll be here for my surgery, which is great, except that I haven't told her I'm having surgery yet. I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm 33. I am an adult. I'm having the surgery regardless, but there's still that part of me that's just a little girl that wants approval. My mum is, I say she's a hippie, but she's not really anymore. She's one of those hippies that grew up and settled down and had a family. But I mean that in the sense of, you know, our family's vegetarian. Growing up, we had things like homeopathics. When we, you know, had a stomachache, we'd have chamomilla rather than, you know, I don't even know what normal people take for a stomachache. How bad is that? Or we'd have chamomile tea, or, you know, those sorts of things. So I guess my worry or my concern, or what I think her concern is going to be, is that I think she'll see it as being a bit of a drastic step. I think she'll have a problem understanding how a surgery which makes it difficult to eat things like brown rice and lentils and, you know, fresh vegetables, how that could be a healthy choice. Our family, you know, diet was never a word that was used in our family growing up. You know, my family is all sort of average sized. We were more concerned with, you know, sort of getting enough protein as vegetarians. So, you know, I had things like tofu and brown rice and lentils and beans and falafels and, you know, all of those sorts of things growing up was what we ate, because that was how you got your nutrition. And so I think, you know, part of my problem was when I moved out of home and I was earning my own money and I could treat myself to junk food whenever I wanted, because it was such a rarity in our house. I think that's where that habit of sort of going overboard and that I deserve it, I can have this whenever I want sort of feeling came out, almost rebelling against my parents in a totally self-destructive, weird way. But, you know, that is part of the problem. And so when I think about telling my mum, I think that's where her problem's going to lie. So if you've got any information or any experiences or anything like that that you think would be helpful to share, if you manage to get lots of veggies in and enjoy them, please let me know. But yeah, I think it's just a case of I have to have the conversation with her. There's no avoiding it. I'm just procrastinating over it, and I think I know it's going to be weird and awkward and uncomfortable and probably emotional, but you know, it has to happen, so there's no way around that. So I'll update you all after that conversation has taken place. I know in my heart of hearts that, you know, she'll support me no matter what I do. It's just that part that just wants, you know, I want her to go, yes, I think this is a wonderful idea, you know, I think this is going to be a great thing for you, and, you know, yeah, I want her to be that chairperson, which, you know, she's not necessarily going to be. And that's what's making me nervous about it, I guess. But that's it. That's really the last hurdle. I've had the final approval code through from my insurance company because they're paying 75% of the thing. All of that's done. I'm ready to go. Work has been great. I actually wound up telling a few people at work via email because we're an open plan office. There's just nowhere to sort of take people aside and talk confidentially very easily, particularly if you want to tell a couple of people. So I sent an email to some of my girlfriends at work, the people that would probably be able to tell that something was up and something was going on. They've all been wonderful, really supportive, really nice, lots of offers of help, and it's nice to know I have that, you know, that sort of backing, and that there are people that know what's going on, and that when I go back to work, so I've got 2 weeks off work after the surgery, it's nice to know that when I go back, yeah, there'll be people there that know what's going on and will have my back, which is a really good feeling. That's really it. I hope everyone is having an amazing week. Weather here is starting to get really, really nice, or at least it looks nice. It was actually quite cold today. In fact, I think it sleeted for a few minutes. Go figure. But I'm looking forward to spring. I'm looking forward to next week. Looking forward to seeing my mum. And yeah, I'm feeling really good about things. So I will catch up with you all next week. I'll probably try and do a video in the weekend pre-op after I talk to my mum and let you know how it went. Okay, talk to you later. Bye. Sorry, just trying to avoid the sunshine. My room gets the afternoon light, which is lovely, but it's a fine line between nice light and blinding me directly in the eyes. So if I duck and dive, that's why, or if I look a bit squinty, you know, it's just that the sun is coming directly at me.